and he still chooses good even when he's facing all those difficult things.
Hi, yeah, I'm Jason. I'm from ScreenFish. Um, so,
What's up, dude?
first,
Hi,
what's
Jason.
up?
How are you?
I'm very good. Yeah, I'm very excited for this interview. Actually,
Awesome.
love JUJUTSU Kaisen since the beginning, and I think that it's one of the rare animes with a very good English dub.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Season 3, calling games. It's like a battle royale system. Uh, very, very popular right now, built around rules, points, and now very high stakes of the world ending, um, which is very different from earlier arcs. I just want to know, how does this shift in the beginning of the season affect your characters and the way they approach this situation?
Yeah, I think it was important for me going into season 3 to remember that even though it has been about a year and a half since I've gone in and recorded the Shibuya incident, that this is, you know, for Yuji, this is on the heels of all of that stuff that he went through during season 2. So it's still fresh, but honestly, the story pace and what he's going through and what the next, like, embarking on the next portion of this like journey for him into the culling game happens so fast. He almost has to just kind of pivot and accept his new normal. And we hear it kind of in the conversation when he's talking with Hikari about his role. He's sort of, and we heard it in the speech with Mahito as well, where he finally accepts his role in all of this and realizes that he just has to keep killing curses until he rusts away. So taking that sort of his new normal from all of that into season 3 it's been a lot of fun to play, because he's still our good boy. He's still who we met in season 1, and he still chooses good even when he's facing all those difficult things. But it is this more resolved and more resolved, I think, is a good way to put it.
Yeah, I feel like Yuta is navigating the difference between finally being back with his friends and the potential to make new friends that are friends with his friends, versus this immense responsibility that I feel like he's realized with his power, and as he sees the state of the world right now. And so he, I think, resolves to use that power as much as he can to protect innocence, and particularly to do whatever he can for his friends and for the people he loves. Whether that be, to sort of shade them from people who would be otherwise doing them harm, even ones that are supposed to be on the good side, versus unfortunately having to go away again for a bit and not have a lot of contact. If he has to do it, he will do it, because he'll do what he has to for his friends.
In the story, Gojo is basically this dominant figure in the series and the teacher to both Yuji and Yuta, being in all seasons, even the movie, as the person that can just deal with everything, everyone can rely on. And now, gone from both these characters' lives and everyone else. How does this absence affect the tone of story, but also the way these characters move forward?
Yeah, I think it's interesting for, like, just from the audience standpoint. It's like we have had Gojo there to be able to handle all of this stuff as sort of like somebody that the students can rely on if things get really bad. I mean, he's the one who bails Megami out in episode 1 when Yuji's about to, when Suguna shows up for the first time and all that. I think Gojo being sealed is so incredibly necessary for our other characters to be put into difficult positions to see how they react. There's one of my favorite things that authors do, and Mappa is doing an amazing job adapting this in the anime, is putting our main cast in difficult situations that to an audience member almost seems insurmountable. It's like, okay, how are you even going to get out of that? Like, there's no possibility of that. And then seeing how they do that, and what I love the most about JJK is when they are doing that, we are learning so much more about the characters. There's some episodes coming up where Yuji has a fight with a character named Higuruma, lawyer character. No spoilers, obviously, but how this plays out and how much you learn about Yuji through his fight with Higuruma is just probably one of my favorite things about JJK. And in order for those things to happen, you need the OP characters like Gojo to take a back seat for a second so that the other characters can shine and you can really learn more about them.
Yeah. I feel like Yuta is just having to trust that Gojo was, doing what he was doing before he was sealed for the right reasons. We see Yuta talk about the fact that Gojo made the decision to teach Yuji and to save Yuji. And I think Yuta really values Gojo's decision-making as much as they also had a very playfully antagonistic relationship at times, like most people do with Gojo. When it gets down to it, people rely on him and trust him. And so I feel like Yuta saw no better option than to continue trusting the path that he was, going down while Yuta wasn't there, and continuing to act on that as best he can, and sort of recognizing that he has some of the power of the Gojo clan, it being a distant relative and having that immense cursed energy to, I think kind of take up that mantle a bit and do what he can to keep that ball rolling in his absence.
If you guys were able to have a curse technique in real life, what would you guys pick and why?
I'm gonna go with Boogie Woogie. I think that would just be like so useful.
Yeah, I if it's not one that has to be in the anime, it gets complicated. I have so many desires, but if it's one from the anime, I want to have Gatos because I play a lot of Pokemon and other collectathon games. So I really just want to collect all the cursed spirits to hopefully actually use them for good.
Okay. How would you get around the gross taste of the cursed spirits?
Condiments.
What a
Condiments.
question.
Condiments.
Yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
tartar sauce covers a world of hurt.
I truly actually believe, and KG has said this, KG who voices Gojo, the English voice of Gojo, has said he feels like so many problems would have been solved if Gato had discovered condiments. Like, of course he's mad. They taste horrible, but if they had just tasted a little bit better, maybe he would have been a little happier,
Totally agree. The sugar would have been great.
Yeah.
All right. This is my cue to wrap. Thanks so much for both your times. I'm loving JJK. I've actually read the manga. It's incredible. I'm looking forward to what's coming. The Higuruma episode, by the way, came out last week, and it was amazing, cinematic. So I'm excited for the rest.
Just wait. Yeah, can't wait for more. Dude, thank you for your time, too. Appreciate you.
Thanks so much.
Thank
Thanks
you
so much.